What do you get if you combine the two greatest breweries in the UK today, Verdant and Polly's, and make a beer? Could it be the beer of the year? Check out Fashion is Danger, a double IPA from the heavyweights, Polly's Brew Co. and Verdant Brewing. Keep on watching to see what it's like. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today it feels like one of the coldest, windiest days of the year, so I thought I would dig deep and go for a double IPA, 8% beer. And this little beauty, look at that artwork, fantastic looking artwork, is a collaboration between Verdant Brewing and Polly's Brew Co. Two of my top three breweries in the UK, the other one being Daya, of course. Now, this is a double IPA, 8%. It's got Idaho 7 on the hot side, Citra and Nelson Sauvin on the cold side. Let's crack it open and see what it's all about. I mean, amazing you get these two big heavyweights, you know, collaborating. Obviously, this is, I think it's more Verdant, and then Polly's have gone there and done some stuff with them, and it's been brewed at Verdant, because it's obviously all the can sort of design on the back and everything is definitely Verdant. So let's see what it's all about. I mean, it's got Nelson Sauvin in it, which, you know, so I'm quite looking forward to that, because I do like, you know, the New Zealand style beers. Beer in a glass, well, it's a big, thick, hazy, juicy looking beer. I poured a bit rubbish, so we've got 3 fingers of very densely compacted white head. It's got a slightly more yellowy, greeny tinge in this in the camera here, but to me, it looks very sort of bright orangey yellow coloured. So let's see what the aromas are like. Lots of citrus. Yeah, you can get that little hint of gooseberry, white grape from the Nelson. Yeah, a little bit of grapefruit. Smells pretty good. Let's see what it tastes like. Cheers, everyone. Real thick, soft, gloopy almost mouthfeel. Low levels, if no carbonation at all. Really fruity. There's a lot of you've got big hits of mango, and then you get all that Nelson sort of hop flavour coming through, the grape, the melon, the gooseberry. There's a bit of lime in there. There's other citrus fruits. There's no bitterness. There's no hop burn, and there's basically no real reason why you'd think this is an 8% double IPA, because it doesn't taste highly alcoholic at all. There's not a little bit of warmth, there's no burn. It's just very smooth and fruity. Go in again. The flavours are strong. I mean, that's the big takeaway of any double IPA. Big, strong flavours. But I think the Nelson, I think that Nelson does work even better in double IPAs, because it's got those sort of those flavours of the gooseberry, limes, grape, melon even. They're quite sort of very tangy, strong flavours. Those work well in a double IPA. I mean, I'm not really picking up much in terms of grapefruit. I'm not really picking up much. There's a bit of citrus and there's a little bit of mango, but really in terms of the tropical stuff, it's just really smooth. I mean, it's going down like I'm drinking a 4% pale ale here. It's just a really good, well-brewed beer. Big gooseberry on the front, and lime, lychee even. That sort of grapey, sort of white wine flavour as well is definitely in there. And then you sort of, I'm a little bit waiting for a little bit something else, but that's the flavour really. There's no bitterness, there's no real pininess or anything like that. There's nothing on the back end really. So the first taste that you get sort of just stays with you all the way through the beer. As I say, it's quite thick in terms of its mouthfeel. It's got that sort of very sort of gloopy, no carbonation type of mouthfeel where it's just sort of, it's so, because it's got none of that real fizz in it, you can just drink it down. You could drink this down in one very easily, but you know, 8%, it's a bit dangerous. I'm drinking this too quickly as it is now. That's about all I can really tell you about the flavour. If you like Nelson Sauvin hop, then you would like this because it's got all those characteristics that you expect. If you like something soft, creamy even, without that prickly carbonation, you don't like bitterness in your beer, you're liking your New England double IPAs like I do, then this is absolutely spot on. So let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for Fashion is Danger. This is a double IPA from Verdant and Polly's Brew Company with Idaho 7 and Citra Nelson Sauvin in it. It's a pretty good beer. It looks pretty good on the can, but let's start with the aroma. So as soon as you put it in the glass, put your nose to it and you go, I reckon that's got some sort of New Zealand hop in it. And you'd be right. The Nelson Sauvin hop's all over it, so you're getting that sort of grapey, gooseberry. They're the big aromas there. There's a bit of mango in there as well. It smells good, but it's not the most strong, pungent that you sometimes get with double IPAs. Not bad. I'm giving it a 13 for aroma. Appearance-wise, well, it's a lovely looking colour-wise. It's lovely looking. Got a slight sort of sliver of head. I mean, the head's pretty much gone, but look at the lace in the glass. It's a real glass wrecker, this one. Looks pretty good, nice and hazy. I'm giving it a solid 8 out of 10 for appearance. Flavour-wise, well, firstly, it's a double IPA that drinks nothing like an 8% beer you would expect to. It's very smooth. It's very soft and creamy, almost gloopy in terms of the mouthfeel. Not any sort of carbonation at all. The Nelson is there. Obviously, it's got Citra and Idaho 7 in it as well. But the Nelson sort of does overwhelm it a little bit. But it's, I suppose, I've had beers with Nelson in it and other stuff where the Nelson is definitely a much bigger hitter within the blend of those hops. But there's definitely those characteristics, because I think you don't really get the Nelson characteristics with any other hop, so they stick out really, you know, like a sore thumb to some extent. The grape and the gooseberry, the lychee, the lime, that sort of those real sort of zesty green fruits. There's mango in there. There's obviously other citrus like lemons, but I'm not really picking up much in terms of grapefruit. There's no pininess, there's no bitterness, which is a good thing. It doesn't drink, like, as I said, it doesn't drink like an 8%. It's very smooth though. It has that smoothness that you would expect, and there is that strong flavour within the beer. You know, it's not a pale, because the flavours are quite strong, slightly sweaty, slightly got that. It's actually, as it's sort of warming up, you're getting that slight Verdant sort of vegetable sort of flavour. It's not a horrible thing, it's just a characteristic. That slight sort of spring onion sort of does come into this. I think you get that more in Nelson Sauvin anyway, but flavour wise, it's pretty good. I've had better, I've had juicier, but the fact is it doesn't drink like an 8% and it's smooth as anything. So I'm going to get 34 for flavour. Value for money, well, you know, when you're buying you know, from two of the top breweries in the UK, you expect to pay a bit more. I think this was £6 or something like that, a bit more than, I think it may even be a bit more than £6, £6.50. So it's quite expensive, but it is an 8% beer. I'm giving it a 7. I think that's a fair score for the sort of price that you're paying. I mean, obviously, it's the two of my favourite breweries in there. And I know if you speak to anyone, you know, they think of their top breweries, they're going to mention those breweries as well. So it's a quality beer, but I think because it was £6.50, 7 out of 10 is fair. Overall, though, I think it's a really nice beer. I mean, double IPAs don't always do it for me, because I think why would I want to drink a beer that's 8% when I can get flavour of a beer which is 6%, and then I can drink more of those and enjoy them more. But this one, I mean, Nelson's sort of New Zealand type of hops just seem to lend themselves to double IPAs much better. There's a lot less of that sweaty dankness that you do get with double IPAs. But you get in the body that you'd want from a double IPA, the smoothness and the flavour is just there. It's just right on the money, as it were. So I'm giving it 15 for overall experience. I think it's a really nice beer. I'd drink it again, and I would definitely recommend it overall for my, in terms of my overall experience. It's a really enjoyable beer, and I'm drinking it down. I'm trying to drink it slowly, but it's impossible because it's got this very moorish sort of quality to it. So we top those scores up, we get a 77. So it's at the high end of the recommended, not quite into the 80s, but it's still a pretty damn good beer. So if you've had this, let me know what you think. If you haven't had it, definitely give it a try. And I'll be interested to see what you think. I mean, Verdant, whatever you want to call them, Polly's, they're brilliant breweries. I mean, you add Daya into the mix there, and they're definitely still my top 3 breweries. We've got ones sort of biting on the heels like Overtone, Track, maybe the other ones are Northern Monk, but they still always consistently my sort of top 3. So 77, maybe I'm a bit unfair with the score. It obviously dropped points due to the value, and the aroma wasn't as much there as anything else, but I think it's definitely a recommended beer and you should definitely give it a try. So hope you've enjoyed this review for Fashion is Danger. Let me know what you think if you've had it. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Lots of really interesting videos coming over the next month up to Christmas. And until the next one, you know what you've got to do. Keep on rocking.